Hey everybody, welcome to AniBreak. I'm Jason,
And I am Michael.
and of course we're back for episode 2 of the 2.0 version where we're talking about some news, we're talking about a review of Durarara, or Ra Ra Ra, I forget how many Ra's there are in this. Something like that, yeah. But let's get to the news, 'cause I know we have a lot to talk about in a very short period of time, and let's talk about from G Kids. You may have heard about them before, just because they've actually, in the past, have actually streamed Ghibli movies in U.S. theaters in small little chunks here and there. You've probably seen Spirited Away before. They've always been smart to do multiple screens of different versions, like you would have one with the English dub and then one with the Japanese dub. So you have the options because you can't please everybody with just one type of dub nowadays, especially here in the states.
Not even dubstep, but I'm punch. Sorry.
Ah, so bad.
So bad.
But
Bad pun.
G Kids is teaming up with Fathom Events again to screen 6 of Studio Ghibli's classic films back in U.S. theaters. We're talking My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. The way they're going to do this, it's one a month. You'll have the Japanese and the English dub options there on 2 different days. Starting in June. Now, if you want to find out what theaters are nearby and what times they'll be screening them, you'll find that out on April 28th. But Michael, you were mentioning before we started the show, they should have added more to this list. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, or look, every one of those movies is fantastic.
Yes.
And I love Spirited Away. I loved Delivery Service made me cry, in a good way. Actually, so did Spirited Away. Ghibli's real good about that.
Yes.
But what surprises me, and I think the answer may be because it's G Kids that's doing it, though they're showing. No, those are all pretty tame. They're not showing Mononoke Hime
Yeah.
or Princess Mononoke, to those of you who don't know, which are probably few and far between. That was, I mean, I've seen Spirited Away. I loved Spirited Away. It was a beautiful movie. A completely different feel than Mononoke Hime.
Yes.
But Mononoke Hime to me was like it was the first really good English dub of a Ghibli film I had seen. And
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like from there, it took off at that point in terms of quality. Beforehand, it was let's just grab some random people here and there.
yeah, the only problem I had with the dub of Princess Mononoke was casting Gillian Anderson as the wolf god. I love Gillian Anderson. Don't get me wrong. I love her to death, but I don't know that she should have been that voice. But hey, whatever. Either way, it was a fantastic film.
Yeah. And the Disney dubs actually haven't been bad at all.
No,
I've
they
actually
haven't been.
really.
I haven't seen Ponyo yet, so I can't really comment. But on that one, but Spirited Away. Hell, we have friends who were in Spirited Away.
Yes.
Or not Spirited Away. Well, we do have friends in Spirited Away, but I was thinking Howl's Moving Castle is what I meant to say. We have friends who are in that show.
And I think that's actually my favorite dub so far. The English dub is what I mean.
Really?
Yeah. It's for some reason like it kind of worked for me. I was not expecting, knowing the casting for Howl's Moving Castle, for it to be that good, and somehow it won me over. So maybe that's just Ghibli itself and not the actual voice acting. But oh well, it is what it is. But we can always talk about this more when we are in the theater itself and rewatching these classic films.
Yeah. Although speaking of films and anime, and we're going to use that as our transition jumping point to the apparent need to convert anime to live action. What with the release of Ghost in the Shell this month, this week actually.
Yes.
Which brings with it its own set of what the effery. Some good, some bad.
Which we'll get to later on in the show. Yeah,
we'll get there. Apparently, Netflix has released a live trailer released a trailer rather for their live action remake of all things Death Note.
Yep.
With an American cast. I find it. I only recognize like 2 names in this casting list. But one that I actually think is really freaking good potentially is they cast Willem Dafoe as the voice of Ryuk.
Yeah, that was perfect casting. That's
That
almost
is
typecasting
spot
at
on
that point.
freaking casting, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think they did real good picking Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and those of you who want to call me disconnected or whatever can, I don't recognize Nat Wolff, who has been cast as Light Turner. I didn't realize Light's last name was Turner. And Keith Stanfield as L. I don't know who Keith Stanfield is. I hope he can do the emo thing really well.
He really would need to.
Unless is he the lead singer of My Chemical Romance or something?
He moonlights as yes.
Oh, does he now?
No.
I would laugh if I actually guessed that right. Apparently, Masaoka from Heroes and other shows, mostly Heroes,
Mm-hmm.
He's producing it as well as has a small part in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So Masaoka brings some serious street geek cred anyway. The man used to work for ILM.
Right.
Okay, so he's got some serious geek cred behind him.
Yeah, he does.
The film itself will be released on August 25th on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch it because I don't have to pay for it in the theater. I want to see I haven't watched the trailer yet, to be honest.
Okay. It's only about like a minute long. Basically, it doesn't really show all that much. You hear just a little bit of William Dafoe at the end, and it's just enough to get like, ooh, that could be good. I have
as
hope
creepy
for
as
it.
Willem Dafoe can be.
But that's William Dafoe's regular voice, but
not always though. I mean, when he did Green Goblin, the difference between what is the last name? Olsen, was it?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not gonna go between the father and Green Goblin. The character voice changes were pretty significant.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. And I have to say that, I mean, I looked at some of the other people that are in this, like Adam Wingard is the director of it. You probably don't know that name whatsoever, but he's been known for some really good thrillers. The latest one probably was You're Next back in, I think it was like in 2011 or something like that. He was also directing The Guest. So he has like that style down. I think he can do a decent job with it. A ton of people are on this thing for producing, executive producing. We don't need to get into that. But I think it's just funny that it's about time that someone was going to try to bring this stateside, and not just another dub, but actually their own crack at it. Because the manga itself was incredibly popular worldwide. It spawned, the popular anime series. There was a live-action movie and TV drama in Japan that was huge, and it even actually inspired a musical by Broadway veterans back in 2014. This thing will not die.
No, it won't. Well, because it's hasn't been written down in the book yet.
Exactly.
So, but it's I don't know. I think it'll be cool. I'll watch it. I'm mixed reviews, mixed mindset on the need.
Yeah.
That people have to do these things, but Netflix did a real good job with Voltron.
Yes, they did. I haven't watched season 2 yet. They did a real good job with
what?
I haven't watched season 2 of the Voltron series yet. Is that any good?
I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
And they did real good with Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Although Jessica Jones got a little weird. And by all reports, they've done really good with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, despite the controversy. So I'm willing to give them some leeway here, because they tend to be. I'm guessing that there are people in the decision-making positions at Netflix that are actual geeks.
Yeah.
And nerds. And
they would have to try to jump into this, because I can't imagine them getting courted by a Japanese company and they're like, oh yeah, sure, let's put a mark on rubber stamp on this one. We'll go for this one instead of all the other ones. No, they had to have known the source material.
I'm pretty sure they had to build a pedigree to get that.
Yeah, at that point. I mean, and plus the fact that they're doing it as a film, a standalone movie, rather than trying to do a TV series, I think that's going to work in their favor. Because if they try to stretch this out even longer than that, then they'll start following into the American, tropes. TV tropes out there, and then you'll never get out of that.
Yeah, but you can't tell the whole series in a single 2-hour movie.
No, you can't. But if they can cherry pick.
But they can set it up for a series of movies.
Exactly, and Netflix is great at that. They'll do original content. This first one works very well and gets enough viewership numbers. Yeah, they'll throw more money at it and get future movies in the works. I think they'll go for it in a heartbeat.
On that note, I'm going to topic hop just a little bit.
Go
It's
for it.
not on the list. I apologize. If I recall correctly, it's this week. American Gods starts.
See, that's a series I've never gotten into. I haven't watched a single episode yet.
It's is it out? Because it's supposed to be on Stars.
Think it is?
Okay,
I
American
keep
Gods.
on hearing a lot of
for
hype
those of you who
about it.
don't know, American Gods is a Neil Gaiman book. Neil Gaiman, who has done such wonderful things as Sandman, and oh God, what else has he done? So much, all sorts of fun stuff. I can't remember any of their names for the life of me, but he's really well known. And he's a hell of a writer. American Gods was, I think he did Good Omens too. I may be wrong on that. Either way, American Gods was basically an exploration of what happens when the people who migrate to America bring their gods or avatars of their gods with them, and what happens when the old gods are no longer believed and the new gods, money, technology, television, take over, or attempt to take over, and the war between them. They have done amazing casting in the show. Ian McShane's playing Mr. February.
All right.
I think it's February. No, what is his name? It's not Mr. Wednesday. There's a Wednesday. Damn it! Why can I not remember his name? Either way, Ian McShane's in it. And he's a phenomenal actor and perfect casting on the role. All the casting I've looked at, it looks real good. If you get a chance and you have Stars Network, watch it. I'm so eager to see this that I'm actually contemplating calling up Charter and saying, hook it up.
At that point, I would say just probably buy the episodes on iTunes or something like that.
If that's a tempting option as well. Okay, so I apologize. I hijacked the show. Let's go back to the show.
It's all good. Well, I mean, talking about, you want to watch this show, and there are people have to either buy cable or they'll go out for one of the number of streaming services out there. Aside from video, you have a ton of audio stuff out there, mainly Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, all this stuff. But there's been one field that is a niche market as all hell, but has yet to be, exploited, for lack of a better phrase.
In the pay sense of the term, yeah.
Yeah, very true. So, with that in mind, over 30 Japanese production and record labels in Japan teamed up to create, I'm going to mess them up, it's like Anita, A-N-I-T,
Aniuta.
A-N-I-U-T-A. This is the
Which
world's...
is Aniuta.
Okay. This is the world's first anime song streaming service. This service will include music from both anime series, games, Vocaloids, and special effect works. They're talking over 50,000 songs will be officially licensed to actually be streamed on this service. 20,000 of which will be streamed online legally for the first time ever.
Nice.
So it's actually going to be a vast collection. I'm sure they'll actually move forward and increase the amount of songs available on this service if it actually goes well. Yeah, it takes off, I believe, this week in Japan for about $5 a month, about $5.40 US. But the thing is,
that's pretty inexpensive for a Japanese service.
Considering how much do they spend on Blu-rays and how many episodes they get on Blu-ray?
Good God, their Blu-rays are routinely $50 plus them. And this is an episode.
Yes.
None of this. Hey, you can buy a DVD, you can buy a Blu-ray and get most of the series in one fell swoop like you get in the States. No, in Japan it's one disc, one episode.
Yeah.
Why don't I do it too? Anyway,
they spend so much money over there. So something like this, that is incredible for them to actually get all these teams together and agree on these pricing. It's almost kind of like how Apple went to all the music industry. Back in the early 2000s with $1 a song and it'll work. So hopefully this does as well, especially because they've already made the intention known that if it does well in Japan right now at launch, by the end of this year, end of 2017, this will be available here in the States.
I'm hoping. Do you remember Game FM?
I do remember Game FM, yes.
That's what I'm hoping it's like, because I used to listen to Game FM all the damn time.
That could be So nice.
Like, I bought a lot of the game soundtracks I bought because I heard them on Game FM.
Mm-hmm. And likewise, I've done several of that myself. And the thing is, I was looking through the article and seeing some of the names of the companies that are backing on this, and already I'm going, okay, I want to jump on this. You got your big names, NBC, Universal, Warner Brothers. You're probably thinking nothing about that. But then you have Flying Dog, Avex, Sunrise, Toei, Frontierworks, Pony Canyon, Capcom, Victor Entertainment, TMS Music, Bushy Road Music. Almost anything you could think of out there that has a popular anime song attached to it will be available on this. That is just crazy.
I wonder how far back in history they're going to go. Like, will you be hearing the Yapapa song from Ranma?
It'd be amazing if it did, but I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I never say never. I mean, those songs still have some popularity.
That is very
true. Let's put it this way: they're on karaoke machines in Japan.
Yeah.
So,
and are routinely being selected. So.
Though it's funny, speaking of the anime front, and actually since we had Netflix earlier, there's Netflix is not done in the anime realms with now that they have Voltron, of course, which they've done really well, and they've done a second season of. They also did a special event at Anime Japan 2017. It's announced that there's going to be a trilogy of Godzilla films. Not just any Godzilla films, Godzilla anime.
Mm-hmm. See, what's funny is that I'm reading through the official story synopsis for this, and it's Garadabuchi, all over the place.
Totally.
I mean, it's like, okay, so, the last summer of the 20th century, human beings found out they're not the only people living on Earth. The kaijus emerged, so multiple. So we're talking Godzilla and others.
It's not a Godzilla. It's not. You got to have the War of the Kaiju.
Yeah, that's true.
But to continue to round out who's associated with, you got Gen Urobuchi, who created the story and the concept and the screenplay. Kobun Shizuno from Detective Conan and Fist of the North Star movies. Hiroyuki Seshita, Knights of Sidonia. They're directing, and the first film is going to be titled Godzilla Kaiju Wakusei, aka Monster Planet. It'll open in November in Japan, and then followed by worldwide streaming provided by Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
No, they are not our sponsor.
No. That used to be Disney.
Although I wish they were.
Well, given the amount of anime news that they're bringing up, who knows in the future?
Yeah, entirely possible. So now that we have to address the dark horse in the room, which is kind of funny because they're the ones who published the manga at one point. What's coming out Friday, Jason?
Ghost in the Shell. Not just any Ghost in the Shell, the one that's caused a lot of random controversy here and there because U.S. weeboos cannot get their panties out of a twist with this one. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson leads it, playing the major, not the major. They haven't mentioned any of that.
They refer to her as the major.
If you look,
Skojo in the interviews has referred to herself as the major.
Okay, good, because like in the trailers, one that they've released, she just calls herself Major, not the Major. Mm-hmm. It's a weird little bit, but I remember when this was first announced with her being cast. I know you and I had some words about this, and I was like, let's see how it is. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We will find out if I'm right or wrong this Friday. But to prep for that, Paramount Pictures has released a boatload of new material. Little clips, little teasers, little new posters everywhere. And then finally on the PlayStation blog, a 9.5-minute clip featuring their version of the iconic tower scene from the, every iteration of the...
Which is interesting because the scene, that clip from the tower, her on the tower forward has already been released.
Yes.
What wasn't released was the 4.5 minutes before it.
Right.
Now, we'll post some links. I'm putting you on the spot here, Jason. We'll post links down below where you can check it out and check out the clips. From a technical effects standpoint, it's freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
From an atmospheric standpoint, it's freaking gorgeous. I have problems with it. We won't talk about what my wife thinks of it. But I wasn't thrilled when they cast Gojo. I think there are plenty of Japanese actresses who could have done the job quite well.
Mm.
But that's not the biggest problem with it, honestly. The more I've thought about it and the more somewhat heated discussions I've had with my wife on this topic, the biggest problem is they took what was a treatise on what it is to be human
Mm-hmm.
and turned it into a garden variety revenge story.
Yeah, I can get that feel from just the bits in the trailer itself.
The way that every commercial has been released effectively says as much. They took my life from me. I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, I know. They didn't
One
save
woman,
your life. They
one
stole
android.
it. Yeah.
A bunch of guns and special effects. Ghost in the Shell.
I mean, we already know they're taking stuff from the manga, the anime series, the movies, and whatnot.
Almost shot for shot on a lot of it.
And that's purposely done, I'm sure.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's just
totally,
funny that
totally.
we're going on this different version of Motoko, but we're also going to include.
She's not named Motoko.
Oh yeah, the major star.
That's the whole point. The major has a different name.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Laura something, I think.
And yet we have Kuze, and albeit a very different version of Kuze.
We have Kuze, we have Bato, we have, I mean, even the tank's in it. The tank, I would really like to see the tank.
In the very latest trailer, they started showing bits of the tank, and I was like, oh, they're going to have that scene. Ooh.
Yeah. The problem is, here's the situation. I'm not going to go so far as to say, oh my God, it's going to be complete suckfest. I know many people who are going to do that for me.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be tons of people.
I'm sure that parts of it will be really good, and eventually I will see it, if for nothing else in the special effects and the cyberpunk feel. I will give SCOJO credit for doing the best she could.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. We may end up putting off Durarara review just for this rant.
Yeah, I'm thinking, given the time frame, let's just do that. We can do Durarara on the next episode.
Another episode. Yeah, sorry for the false advertising, guys.
This, yeah, I look at it as, at least on the visual standpoint, they have their own stamp on everything, but it definitely has a lot.
But
of
it has the
detail
feel.
And a lot of feel to it. I've been very thankful that Paramount has actually teamed up with Adam Savage on Tested, and actually gave him like almost full access to all of their props.
Oh yeah, the Weta stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those geisha bots. Oh my God, those are beautiful.
The level of detail.
But I want to see them do the thing where he splits his hand and it splits into a bajillion little things on everything.
Yeah, that I hear that scene cool happens in the movie, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a CG scene. I can't imagine how Weta could figure that one out in a.
Yeah, no. The physical effects aren't that good.
Yeah, not.
But although somebody made a folding version of the Psycho-Pass gun, physical.
That is true. They actually made an official one that actually syncs via Bluetooth to your phone and has an app and everything.
If I had $500,
oh, I know,
just to throw away, I'd own it.
I know.
But back to story.
Yeah.
It's interesting some of the casting decisions they made. I mean, aside from SCOJO, they brought in Beat Takeshi as
Aramaki.
Why can I not remember the name? The leader.
Aramaki,
yes. They brought him as Aramaki and let him speak his lines in Japanese.
Yes, I love that.
Which is going to be interesting. The idea that another problem I have with it is, why does Bato have eyes?
Yeah, now I know there's going to be eventually in the movie that Bato will have.
Oh yeah, it'll happen. And I've seen scenes with both ways.
But the question is, why do they have to have him without eyes in the first place? I mean,
in the original story, he had it because they were cyber eyes.
Yes.
Because of his time as a commando. And in Arise, he had them when she first went after him to get him on the team. So
yeah.
I can nitpick the shit out of this.
Oh, of course. I mean, you also have Michael Pitt, who's playing the villain Kuze, which Rupert Sanders already said that it's an amalgamation of two main villains, which was Puppet Master and
Puppet
Kuze.
Master and Laughing Man.
Yeah, I'm just like, we'll see. That's all I can say is we'll see.
We'll give it a shot, but
I think we will agree that visually, it's beautiful.
If it doesn't win some awards, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. But what's left to be seen is story and dialogue, which you can have things being pretty all you want, but if you don't have a story to back it up, it's just going to not do well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to reserve comment because I have to. I people who are close to me, Shiro is their god, and so there's a whole lot there. But I do agree strongly that I have problems with where they appear to have taken the story. That doesn't mean it won't be enjoyable. It doesn't mean it won't be a bubblegum flick.
Yeah.
But
will it be?
You have to put aside expectations in that regard.
You can't please fanboys and fangirls, because I and many other people can quote the original manga. I can talk to you about the designs that Shiro used and everything. You're not going to see that level of detail in this film. You'll see hints of that. You'll see homages to that, but you won't see exactly that.
Right. The biggest problem I have is they dumbed it down.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I won't see it.
So
I will see it at some point.
We'll have to see. I mean, I know by the time this episode airs, it'll actually be out in theaters. So
you will have seen it.
We'll see.
Nah, I know you, Jason. You'll have seen it, and that's
by
okay.
the end of by the next episode, I will have seen it.
Yes,
and I will give a mostly spoiler-free review at that time.
That's fair enough.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you guys can't go see it. Enjoy it. I mean, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have thoughts.
The inner otaku in me has some issues.
I mean, you guys see it. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know in the comments below and on the YouTube page. Or we also have a Gmail email address you can use. It's AniBreakShow@gmail.com. Once again, that's AniBreakShow@gmail.com.
And there will be a text up there saying it too, I think.
Yes. Let us know what you guys think about the not only our show but also Ghost in the Shell. What do you guys think? Was it good? Was it bad? What they could have done better? We want to hear this stuff, and we'll read them out on the next episode.
Yes, and so what I think we will do is we will make this a part 1 of episode 2. We will do a part 2 of episode 2 where we actually do the review of Dorarara. Which is if you haven't, the short version is if you haven't seen it, see it. It's awesome.
Yeah. You have 2 weeks, get on it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, that's me for this episode of AniBreak. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm Jason.
I'm Michael.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.